Hey, what up, good people? So this is typically for newer agents in the industry. I heard someone say, "Hey, I'm new. What YouTube channel should I follow?" So I'm like, well, let me create something that may help newer agents, and this can help someone who's been in the industry. I've been in the industry for 8 years, but I would say start with like what you're looking to do, and don't sell yourself short in this industry because we create the most millionaires. Is one of the most, if not the most scalable businesses out there, and every industry has to go through us. And this is a multi-trillion dollar industry. If you combine retail and real estate, it still doesn't equate to the financial services industry. But keep the end in mind on where you're looking to go. Like what is your goals? Right. And then once you create where you're looking to go, so if it's 100K, if it's a million, you want to be a deca millionaire, whatever it may be, you got to create the mindset for that. So whatever it is you looking to be, create that mindset, because that mindset is going to dictate everything. I don't care how good you are. If you don't got the right mindset to go in this industry, then it might not work as you envision it to work. And all the times they don't, whether it be for all the right reasons or for all the wrong reasons. But let me give you a mentality or a perspective that may help you. Just think of that cat that's outside, that alley cat. Every single day, that alley cat got to fight to survive. Somebody may be feeding it, maybe not, but they got to find shelter every day. Maybe they already found shelter. They got to find something to eat every day. If it's cold, they got to find somewhere that's going to protect them from the cold weather. They got to eat. They got to go hunt. They got to go kill some rodents or some birds or something to eat. Versus that house cat, they'll never go outside. Got everything made for them, sitting there pretty on their perch, looking out the window, looking at all the birds. They're just hunting. If they get a chance to hunt, they just hunt for sport, just because they can, and they just kill for the fun of it. But when you that alley cat, you gotta kill because you gotta survive. Like you gotta go hunt because you gotta survive. And as they say, you kill what you eat. And if you ain't killing nothing in this space, in this industry, then you just not gonna eat, right? Now I'm not telling you to go buy leads. That's not what I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, you got to go make things happen. And that's the difference between being an employee and being a business owner, being an entrepreneur. There's a mindset shift that you must have. You have to have it. There is no other way around it. You must create that mindset of you got to go make things happen. Because that, typically speaking, job, you know what you got to do every day. Is some of it's very repetitive. Some of you do things a little bit differently, but essentially it's the same job. It may be at a different location or different business, whatever the case is, but they're providing all the work. But when you're typically, most of us are independent contractors. Some of them may have LLCs and file it differently and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, you got to go make it happen. And if you don't make it happen, and you can't blame people for it not working out. At the end of the day, you are the common denominator for everything that does and doesn't happen in your business and in your life. So you can't blame your mentor. You can't blame the company. Now, should they help? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, it's on you. So if you blame somebody, you got to blame you ultimately. Like I'm a firm believer in it. If it's 1% my fault, it's 100% my fault. And so it's always going to be 100% your fault, especially with your business venture that you decide to go in. You might have hoped that that person who introduced you or whatever the case is, they would have done more and all that. But this is what you signed up for, whether it was, because of emotions and it just sounded good and you didn't realize the type of work. It's going to take work. Right, just keep that in mind. It's going to take work, and you got to build relationships. In my opinion, this is what this business is all about. It's about relationships, and it's about leadership development. It's about relationships. Like you got to build relationships with people. Like which one? Now, I'm not knocking anyone hustle. Like here, I'm just going to tell you, generally speaking, in any my content, I do my best to add and multiply. I'm not here to subtract and divide. I'm here to add value. I'm not here to take away. I'm here to deposit more than I withdraw. And so if someone is getting leads, right, versus someone building a relationship, which business, generally speaking, you think is going to stick longer and more often? Who you think they're going to call back for more if and when they need more? It's going to be the relationship. Relationship supersedes most of it. The only thing it may not supersede is your personal development you have for yourself, because ultimately you are responsible for you, and you got to become the person that you're looking to become. And there's a gap. And you got to fill that gap with that personal growth and development and getting better and doing better. And then, if you're faith based, then cool. Then that's going to fall in there too. But outside of those two, there's nothing else that's going to supersede that. And so you just got to take accountability and responsibility for your business. Don't blame nobody, because nobody don't want to hear it, right? And so you create that mindset, right, based upon the vision. Build it big as you can think it is possible. Now, whether you believe that to be true or not, that's completely on you. Whether you think you can, you can. Whether you think you can't, you're right. So your belief is everything. And when you believe something, the world, the universe, whatever you want to call it, all that stuff that you believe is true, it starts coming to you. Like, you can have two people, you can have two brothers that live in the same household, have the same parents. One has a positive, optimistic belief, and the other one has a pessimistic belief. Who do you think is going to see more positive stuff versus more negative stuff? Who do you think business is great, business is phenomenal, they're going to see all the opportunities out there because they're looking for it? Oh, business sucks, life sucks, because they're looking for it, right? Focus on where you're going, being positive, being optimistic. Yes, there's going to be bad days, maybe bad weeks, hell, might be bad months. Could be a bad year. I don't know. But you got to figure it out. You got to get those right people around you to figure it out. And that goes into mentorship. Get a mentor. Obviously, if you're introduced, then there should be some mentorship on that part. But if there's not, you got to go find it. Nobody's gonna, holding your hand, which is cool, but at some point, whatever that timeline makes sense for your situation, like, you gotta, become independent. Okay. And you gotta seek what you need. Like, I remember there's a book, actually is right behind me, and I was looking for marketing. Really, it was marketing. And I ran to this podcast, and it had the author on there. And I was like, oh, okay, I like this information. But I didn't know he was the author of a book. And he said, yeah, I wrote this book. And so I found the book. To this day, it's been one of the best books I've ever read in my life. One of the best books. And it was a time where I needed the most, because that's what I was looking for. And it just resonated so much with me. It gave me so much value. Like, I just had to act, because it just gave me so much information. I'm like, man, this stuff, the best junk ever. I ain't never heard this stuff before. And so create, and that goes into, keeping that end in mind, getting that mentorship. Well, let me stay on the mentorship real fast. When you get a mentor, you need to follow. So the instructions that they give you, the homework, quote unquote, they give you, you need to follow it faster than the speed of instruction. So they tell you to do something in a week, you do it in 2-3 days. You get it done, because then they don't think their time is wasted. Like, man, this person wasting my time. They tell you to do it in a month, do it in 2 weeks, get it done. Because now they're going to give you more gain. Oh, this person's serious. They mentor you for a reason. They're going to give you the more gain, the more you do, the faster you do it, the more results you get. This is a result-driven business. I want you to keep this perspective, and I'll get into the other thing later. But nobody pays for average here. Well, some do, actually, but that's because they probably put themselves out there. So maybe they're not so average. But generally speaking, no one pays for average. No one brags about the restaurant they went to that was average service. They brag about the service that was exceptional. I remember when one time I had a steak, and I was like, man, the steak is good. It's the best steak that I've ever had to this point. And I brag about that steak. And I don't even eat meat no more, but I brag about the steak. That steak was so good. The service was so good. Yeah, and guess what? I'm still talking about it. I don't know. I guess that was about 5 years ago. 5 years later, how good that steak was, man. That steak was great. And it was a filet mignon, by the way. And it, for people who know filet mignon, like it ain't like a T-bone in terms of like the flavor profile of it because of that bone. But anyway, no one brags about the average service. All right, it's about meeting and exceeding expectations. Now you take this for how you want to take this, and I'm gonna leave this. They say you should under promise and over deliver. Now, in our space, a lot of things you can't guarantee, especially in terms of performance. But in terms of your service that you provide to your clientele, the people, you can guarantee that. And I would tell you this, especially when it comes to your service that you're going to provide, not product performance, but service performance in terms of what you're going to do, what your team is going to do. You overpromise and you overdeliver. You overpromise and you overdeliver on the services that you're going to provide. And one thing, I'm going to give you a little tidbit. See this little thank you card right here for all your clients, especially new clients that you get. Read them a thank you card. Hey, I thank you for allowing me and my team to service you, however you want to phrase it, service you and your family, you and your business, you and your organization, whatever it may be, on birthdays, on holidays, on anniversary, whatever days mean most to them, a loved one passes away. Put that in your phone. Put that on your calendar. Tell your calendar to let you know when this event is coming up a week in advance or 2 weeks in advance. You do that for all your clients. Then over a 10-year period, you're gonna get to a point where every day you gotta talk to somebody because they have a life-changing event that's happening on that day. And you talk to somebody every day, you building rapport. Selling is breaking rapport. Education is building rapport. But you're building rapport, you're building that relationship even tighter. How many know professionals are sending thank you cards? How many financial advisors, wealth managers, insurance agents, whatever we call ourselves, how many you think are sending these all the time? There's some are, and those are the good ones, those are the great ones. But how many people are doing this, right? But I'm gonna leave just with that. There's so much more to talk about, but I think that's a great starting point for you. So like, share, subscribe. If you got any, you want to add something to it, or if you think something stupid, feel free. But let me know some other content or some other things that I can talk about, I can elaborate on, and maybe some books behind me you may see. Like, hey, what'd you think about this book, or whatever the case may be. So I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.